Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining on time. Maybe can someone confirm with the help of reactions that you can see me, hear me, and see the screen as well? Okay, so thank you, Vinita. I assume that all three things are working. My video is fine, my audio is fine. Also, you can see the screen. If someone cannot do it, log out, log in. Thank you. We'll start at 7. We have 3 minutes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer any kind of questions.
Hi Rohit.
Hi.
Last time अपन ने जो last time the class which we did
Yeah,
for tournament and all that stuff.
yeah,
Maybe sometime you can quickly repeat. Maybe not today. I'm not saying only today, but even summary kind of in 15 minutes. अगले class, next class maybe it's fine.
sure, sure. But repetition of the pronouns you are saying, right?
वही pronomen be and how we change the verb based on the
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, I'll
do.
try to.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Something similar we'll do today because we'll do this, like modal verb. So we also learn how to conjugate modal verb. So we'll do some repetition, but we can I will do it. Yeah, don't worry. I will remember this, note this down after the session, and uh, yeah, I will do it. Don't worry. Yeah. If I don't do
Thank
it before
you.
the last session, just remind me one more time. But I
No,
normally
we
don't
will
forget things. Yeah.
definitely. And also, I wanted to say that, of course, see, I just being honest. I'm only doing what you are doing here in the class. But yes, I have been able to at least start with having the vocabulary, increasing the vocabulary based on the table that we decided in the first class. So
Yeah.
there is a bit of improvement. But otherwise, also now I feel a little bit better. I understand a little bit more when other people talk, and first I used to not even try to focus what other people are telling, and I used to just think I won't understand. But now with this, at least there is an effort. Okay, I might understand, I should focus, and I do get the context of what people are talking. So that's nice. Thank you.
Most welcome, most welcome. I mean, I mean, I actually like people who are very honest, and you are honest. But see if you can do something more, because these sessions I have designed them, and because I have designed them, I know these are not enough. If you just do this, just participate in these sessions and do nothing else, it's if you are my close friend, I would say don't attend the sessions, because I don't think it will be the best use of your time. But again, this is an ideal case scenario. If you have some time, attend. Yeah. Just saying that. Yeah, but again, thank you for being honest. All right, it's 7. We can start. Just one. Yeah, I hope everybody can see, hear me, see me, and see the screen. If not, please let me know. I think you may just have to log out and log in again. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining on time. My name is Rohit. These are the ninth and 10th sessions out of at least 16 complimentary sessions for German A1 level. I hope you all had a wonderful start in the week. If not, let's see if we can end your Monday on a good note. If I cannot do that, you still have 4 more days to conquer the week. All right, what you are looking at right now is the agenda of today's sessions. We'll start with different ways. We'll start with you'll learn how to ask what time is it. Many of you may know it's not that important. Like I can just point at and that's how you will say I never ask. I don't really have to ask someone what time is it because I have a phone. I don't live in 1920s. uh, you are right, but it's part of the syllabus, so I still have to cover it. But you will learn a few more things around time. So I mean, if you don't have to learn how to ask what time is it, but you learn some things around time, and that will help you in learning German. Then we'll of course how to ask what time is it, and then how you can answer what time is it, or not just what time. Someone says, your boss says, do you have time tomorrow? And you're like, okay, at what time? Or let's say your boss asks, when do you have time tomorrow? And then you say, at this blah blah time I have time. How do you say that? Then we'll learn something. In the very first session, I had given you a set of word combinations, alphabet combinations. And that helps you how to pronounce. So for example, I told you, whenever you have s say ha, it's sh or k. Whenever you have a followed by e, it's I. Whenever you have e followed by a, it's e. Today we'll learn something special, like we'll learn how to pronounce words that end with the alphabet air or alphabet a and air. We'll learn that. Then we'll learn something very important, that is modalverben. Please learn modalverben. It will save a lot of time. It will save a lot of energy when it comes to learning German. Why? I will tell you how. Then we'll learn, of course, words to specify a specific time, like after this time, at this time, between this time, uh, for something like that. You'll learn all the prepositions. Then again, it's very simple. Many of you know already from Duolingo how to say sorry and how you may react to sorry. I think it's very important. Even if you cannot say anything in German, at least learn to say sorry, or how you may react to an apology. Don't just like nod your head. Learn. It's just few words. It's nice if you know them. Then we'll go through some guidelines that you may use while writing emails in German. Again, these are not like how do you say, like written in stone, but it's nice to know some guidelines. Maybe you already know it, or maybe you can, y- maybe if you want to share some guidelines with us, feel free to share. I believe many of you guys are working. All right, and of course you'll learn some new German words. I may also learn some new German words. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt at any point of the time. In the session, I really don't mind being interrupted. I actually enjoy when you interrupt me, because that helps me become a better speaker. All right. uh, disclaimer, those who are joining for the first time, please understand, if you really want to learn German, if I really have to teach you German, I need to have at least 100 or 120 hours of FaceTime with you. And then I can say, okay, I have done my job as a teacher, and now I think if you don't speak German now, it's my problem. There is something wrong with me. But I'm only spending like 16 hours with you, maybe 20 hours with you. It's not enough. That means these sessions are on their own not enough to uh, I mean, you'll pass the exam, I believe. I mean, I'm not guarantee, but you can pass the exams even without these sessions. But if you really want to learn to speak and at even level, you have to at least spend this, like I spent 16 hours with you, so you will have to spend the 120 minus 16, that is around a, how much is that, 104 hours. Yeah, you'll have to spend on your own. All right, let's start with different ways to ask what time is it. Why do you have to learn this? You don't have to, but you, it has happened with me that sometimes I'm standing at some place in Germany, and some old person comes to and asks me, what time is it? And it's nice to know that they are, I mean, even if, I mean, they do this, and like I know what time is it, but sometimes they think I can speak German, and they will ask exactly, what time is it in German. So maybe you should know how to, at least you should know when someone is saying what time is it in German. So there are two ways. There is one formal way, and there is informal way. I mean, I think both are fine, but this is what, proper German language just will tell you, that there is a formal way of asking time and there is an informal way of asking time. Both are fine. uh, Anyone wants to read? Okay, no one wants to read. So the first one is, yeah, Jyoti, you can read the first sentence.
Ja. Wie viel Uhr ist es?
So this is feel, right? Feel. Whenever you have e followed by a, it's e. So we feel Uhr ist es. Yeah. So, I mean, it literally means how much, we means how, feel means much, Uhr means like, time is this. How much time is it? But this is not the exact, I mean, this is literal translation, but that's not what it means. It literally means what time is it? Yeah, what time is it? So this is the formal way of asking. And by now you should understand, I told you, when you frame a sentence in German language, there is usually a sentence can be a statement, it can be a w kind of question, it can be a yes or no kind of question. I told you, when it is a w kind of question, you have the w part, we feel Uhr, that is the w part, and then you have the verb is sein. But because the subject is s, so you have to conjugate sein for s, and that is ist. Yeah, we feel Uhr ist es. Yeah. Again, what I'm saying, I want you to focus on the position of the verb. So the verb is sein, conjugated for s, it is ist. Yeah, ich bin, du bist, er ist, sie ist, es ist. So uh, w word is we. If you want to say it the informal way, Jyoti, do you mind reading?
Yeah. Wie spät ist es?
Yeah. So wie spät ist es? Yeah, not spät, spät. Yeah. Wie spät ist es? Yeah. Again, this literally means how. Spät means late. Ist es again. If my teacher sees this, I'm translating this everything to English, she will run after me with a hockey stick. Believe me. But yeah, I have to do it. So, but it does not mean that. I mean, literally you can translate, but this does not mean. It literally means how late is it? Yeah, something like that. I mean, okay, now I have translated, but I hope you get the idea. So, these are two ways of asking time. Again, in the second sentence as well, here the verb is at the second position. So the first position is this entire thing, we spät. This is the first position, and we feel is the first position. Yeah. Any questions about this? About these two sentences? Any kind of question? The silliest of questions that you can ask. Okay, if no more questions, now you know how to ask for time. Yeah, remember these two sentences. There is not much to learn over here. Learn them by heart. Wie viel Uhr ist es? Wie spät ist es? And when you say them, don't say like this. We feel. I mean, okay, if you have some medical condition, I don't mind. But I'm saying speak the way you normally speak. Because don't make mistakes over here. Just because you are an A1, you don't have to stutter if it's not a medical condition. So say it like wie viel Uhr ist es? Wie spät ist es? So now that you know how to ask what time is it, let's learn how or what are the different ways to answer what time is it. How can you give time in different ways? Do you have to learn all the ways? No, don't have to, but it's nice to know. Or when somebody is asking your time, so you can give a time. So let's say somebody says what time is it, you can say 6:30. Someone says when do when can we have our meeting tomorrow, you can also say 6:30. So to give time, you can use it in many different places, not just to answer time. What time is it? So let's look at this time, 16:30 or sorry 18:30 or 6:30. Yeah. So how do you answer this? Let's say if you want to give this time and someone asks you and you look at the watch and it's 18:30 right now, it's 6:30 p.m. So we'll start with the formal way of giving time. So you divide, I mean, you take the hours part. So hours part is 18, so you write 18, and you take the minutes part, that is 30, you write it over here, and then you just read the number. So 18 in German is 18, 18. 30 is 30. Yeah. So you, as you said, you take the hours part, you take the minutes part, you divide them, and you just read the numbers. Is that all? No. So you also have to say, when you say time in English also, you say it is 16:30, it is 18:30, you say it is, right? So the same way in German, if you want to say it is, you will have to say es ist. I'm just giving you an example. If you want to say it is a book, you will say it is a book. If you want to say it is a book in German, you will say it is es ist, a book is ein Buch, es ist ein Buch. So if you want to say it is, you will say es ist. So you will say es ist 18:30. You also have to add the word Uhr over here. Yeah. Uhr, you have a watch on your hand, that can be an Uhr. You have a clock on your wall, that is also a Uhr. You can also use Uhr over here. Yeah. It does not mean it is 18 watch 30. It does not mean that. That's just way of giving time. Okay. Don't try to find the meaning of, say, Uhr means clock over here. Yeah. So if you want to say 18:30, you will say es ist 18:30. Yeah. Notice only U is capital. This A is small. This A is small. This U is capital, but this day is all. This is also small. What I'm trying to say, if you're preparing for an exam, when you're speaking, no one notices. But when you're preparing for the exam, make sure that don't write A capital or day capital. Yeah. Only U is capital.
Hello?
Question. Yeah.
Yeah, can't we say direct Argentine Reisish?
You can say it, but your teacher may cut your marks in exam.
Ah, okay. But normal in normal way, in
You can
normal
say it. I do
speaking way.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not in examination.
No,
Okay.
no, yeah. In exam, I mean, I don't know if the teacher is cool, it's fine, but it's their job to make sure that you learn German properly and not from just you did not do proper homework. You know,
Okay.
yeah. But in real life, people will say Akzentrasich. You people will actually say halb sieben. They will not. They will say something else, or they will just
Ah,
say
okay.
they will actually say halb nag. It literally means that they know it is sixth. Like let's say you and I live at home. Let's say we are neighbors and we are going to some get together, and we leave home at around 6, and we are at the station. We walk, and you ask me what time is it, and I say this is halb nag. I'm just saying it is half after. Now I know that it does not take more than half an hour to like 1 hour to reach the station. So there is this context between us. So when I say halb nak, it literally means halb nak was 30 minutes after was after what. I hope you get my point. We'll talk about it. If you still have questions, please ask. So this is how you give time. Es ist 18:30. If you have 19:30 over here, you will say es ist 19:30. If you have 5:30, you will say es ist 5:30. Any questions? This is the formal way to give time. If you know this, you know how to give time. We can talk about different ways of giving time as well, but this is the normal way. Any questions? Okay, so just notice, please remember that this R is small, lowercase. This day is also small, lowercase. Only this O is capital, uppercase. Exam, be careful. Teachers love cutting marks. In such, yeah. Question, Ravish.
Yeah, hi Rohit. This double S, this beta, or what do you call double S? So this is actually capital or small? Just
It's not
wondering.
beta. It's called S
Kind, yeah,
set.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not capital. It's not small. It's just that's the way it is.
Oh, okay. It will always be like this
It's just
only.
like that. Yeah. It's you can write double S, but yeah, just make yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That happened, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
small,
okay,
it's
yeah.
not capital, it's just that's how it
And
is.
okay, okay, yeah. Got. Thanks, thank you.
Yeah, more question. Okay. Again, that's the I mean, you know now how to ask what time is it, you know how to give time is it. Yeah. Uh Now let's look at for example, good future a good future pointed out that can't I just say ask said the righteous? Yes, you can say. We'll look at many more ways how to give to say the same thing. So anyone wants to read?
Yeah, can I?
Go ahead. Just read the German sentences, okay? This one's over here.
5:30, es ist halb sechs. 5:25, es ist 5 vor halb 6. 5:55, es ist 5 vor 6. 6:15, es ist Viertel nach 6. 8:35, es ist 5 nach halb 9.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, if you don't know what halb means half. So, this is 6:30 is like, half of 6, right? So, you can say es ist 17:30. Es ist 17:30, the formal way, or like the safest way of giving time if you don't want someone to cut your marks. But you can just say, see, 5:30 is half of 6, so halb 6. Yeah, Sujesh, please ask.
Is it 5:30 or 6:30? It's written as half six, which
Yeah, so it's like, so 5:30 is like, so it's just like half before 6.
okay, half
So you
before
just
six.
say, yeah, so it's something like, if it was, let's say, 18:30, what would you say, Sukesh, if it was 18:30 over here instead of 17:30?
Uh, in that case, assist half nine now 9 scene
No, no, no. Okay, you
or
can no,
half
no.
half
So
half
when you
scene.
when you say this informal way, right? You cannot go the 24-hour way. You have to go the 12-hour way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
okay.
you cannot say like S is halb, 17:30 is like 30 before 18. You cannot say S is halb. Ask say no. So this is the, that's why I'm saying, yeah. So yeah. So
Okay, okay.
so
This is other ways
yeah. So
we can say.
18:30, how will you say, Sukesh? If it was 18:30,
If it was 18:30, means it's 6:30. I
yeah.
can say S is half 7.
Very good. Thank you very much. More questions? Okay. So 1725, like, this is like, so you can say es ist 17 Uhr 25. If you say it, you will improve your vocabulary, you will practice, do this. But as I said, as someone pointed out, you can also say, so 1725 is nothing but, so, if it was 17:30, it was halb sechs, right? So now this is 5 minutes before halb sechs, right? So 4 means before. So fünf vor halb sechs. Any questions over here? If it was like, let me just, yeah, let's debug this thing. So if it was 17:35, if it was 17:35, you would say es ist halb sechs, but this is not 17:30, it is 17:35, so it's 5 after halb sechs, right? So you would say fünf, like 5, and after is nach. Yeah, so 4 is before, after is nach. Yeah, any questions? Okay, please ask questions, guys, if anything is confusing. Please ask. It's a language. There is no harm in asking questions. So now 1755. This is like 18, right? So 18 is nothing but 6. So you would say S is 6, S is X, but this is 5 before 6, right? So 5 for X. If it was 1605, sorry, 1805, right? 1805 will be 6 5, right? So you would say S is 5 nach 6. Yeah, nach after 15. Just like in English, you sometimes say, right, quarter after 5, or you say quarter before 5. you know Something like, let's say if it is 6:18:15, let's say if it is 6:15, you would say it is quarter after 6. If it is 6:45, you would say it is quarter to 7, something like that. Viertel means something like quarter over here, quarter, but viertel also has many other meanings. Where you live, that place can also, not your apartment, but every area can be divided into viertel. So viertel can mean also area where you live. Yeah, but here viertel you can think it of as quarter. Yeah, so if you say, uh, 1/4 of my salary just goes into rent, you can say viertel von meinem Gehalt geht zu Miete, something like that. Yeah, so viertel means like 1/4. Yeah. So S is, now this is 15. So 15 after 18, 18 is 6. So S is 6. And after, so nach and viertel nach 6. Notice this V is capital. Okay. Please remember for exams. Yeah. 2035 is nothing but, so 2030 would have been like 8:30. That is, like half before 9. So S is halb 9. Yeah, but you want to say like halb 9, but 5 after that. So you'll say 5 nach halb 9. Now, again, this is, you can try to say it like that, but if you are really being practical, it's much easier to just say, 20 Uhr 35, instead of saying es ist 5 nach halb 9. It's, even to a German, he has to, like, do this mathematics in his head. Yeah, so you have to use your logic, when to use this and when to not use. Any questions so far? Any tips that you want to share about time?
Sir, you could write over here 45, I mean 8:45. You also already mentioned 30, 25, 55. You just
Okay,
missed 45.
let's do it then. 18:45. It will be SS Viertel for 7, right? Yeah, 7. Yeah, that's it. That's what I guess. Why is it not going back? Ah, okay, messed up. Yeah, that's how you say it. Also, let's talk about, so let me just, yeah, spoil my own slide. Uh, yeah, any more suggestions, please give, but I'll give you one more suggestion. As I said, let's say Ravish and I are very good friends, and after the office, we leave at office at the same time. So we leave office around at 5:30. Yeah, and we walk to the train station, and it does not take more than, uh let's say, 10 or 15 minutes to reach the station, right? So we leave station at, like, we leave office at 5:30. Yeah, p.m. And it takes around, like, not more than 15 minutes to reach the office, right? And when we are walking, Ravish asks, like, we walk to the station and Ravish says, Rohit, what time is it? Which spate is this? And if it is 5:45, I can say, like, es ist 17 Uhr 35, right? I can be very formal, or I can just say, I mean, there are different ways I can answer this question. I can say 17 Uhr 35. I can say SS. I don't even have to say SS. I can just say, like 17 Uhr 35. I can say Viertel vor uh, 6. Or I can simply say this Viertel vor, like, quarter to. Now, how will Ravish know it is Viertel for Zex? We leave office at the same time. He knows it doesn't. He knows we leave office around 5:30. It does not take more time to reach the office, like more than 15 minutes to reach the station. So he knows what I mean by Viertel for. He can read between the lines what after comes after for. Any questions? Okay, don't try this in exam. Yeah. But like maybe hearing, if there is like in the hearing part, they may have something like that, like, so the, like, you will have to guess fearful for what, because there will be some context provided, like in the audio before this statement has been said. Any questions? Okay, if no more questions, that's what, now you know how to ask for time, now you know how to give time in many different ways. Homework for you, uh, don't try to read the slide. Just what I want you to know is, like when you learn vocabulary, there are some simple parts of our life, and it's awkward if you don't know what they are in German. So you should know, again, awkward, not awkward, depending on. I think it's awkward. So you should know what sunset is in German. You should know what sunrise is in German. Why? Sometimes, like, people ask these questions like, are you a sunset or a sunrise person? Like, what do you enjoy the most? Something like that. Are you a morning or afternoon person? Something like that. Are you a morning bird or night owl? Something like early bird or night. So you should know these things in German. Please know them. So let's talk about, let's say, Ravish is my boss, and Ravish says, Rohit, do you have time tomorrow? And I say, yeah, I have time. And Ravish is like, when do you have time? So, I want to say after this time, before this time, between this time, around this time. So you need to know some words to, talk about time in that way. Anyone wants to help us? So, what these words mean. You don't have to know all of them. Yeah, Mosami, you can try.
First one is ab,
Little bit louder.
fawn, ab, fawn, bis,
No,
zwischen, und
meaning as well. What, like if I say ab fum 30, fum for 30, what do I mean?
means from.
Onwards.
Sorry.
Fawn is not wrong, but
Yeah.
onwards. Like 5:30 onwards. Yeah.
Fawn, bis means from and till.
Yeah. So fawn, fum for 30 bis 6:30 means from 5:30 till 6:30. Yeah.
Zwischen means between.
So between blah blah and blah blah. Zwischen 5:30 und 6:30, between 5:30 and 6:30. Yeah.
Bis means till.
Till, right? Bis 6:30 till 6:30. Like something. Yeah.
For means before. Nach means after.
Yeah.
Means at. And gegen is around.
Yeah, so I ask you guys to like, so is like exactly at this time. Okay, not I mean I mean gegen is like, around, so now different people have, thank you Mosami, different people have different definitions of gegen. For me, gegen means like, 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after, but depending on uh, the small circle that you have around, gegen can also mean, 15 minutes before and after. Yeah. So any questions so far? Okay, please ask if you have any question. So what you should do now, homework, you know yeah, you have a question. Okay, what you should do now. So homework is, please take some time. You're investing some time in with me. Please also invest some time with you on learning the language, and make a list of things you do on daily basis. You sleep for 8 hours, you're awake for 16 hours. Make a list of, divide your day into half an hour pieces. 32 pieces for 16 hours, and make a list of things that you do on a daily basis, and see if, and of course, like, use sentences to describe daily life. Again, the sentence will not be perfect, but at least you will know the verb to describe that specific activity of your daily life. Your life is important to you. And see if you can, like, you can say that, I wake up at 5:30. Okay, too optimistic. I wake up at 7:30. Yeah, something like that. So, you know 7:30 I wake up, something like that. So, see if you can make a timetable. If I ask you, like, what do, you should be able to, like, give me an exact schedule of your entire day. Yeah. Also, one thing I want you to remember is, I told you that how the set, focus on this part, this subject verb, this blah blah. This is about sentence structure. I told you that normally when you write a sentence, if it is a statement, you have the subject, then you have the verb, and then you may have the object, or you may have an adjective instead of an object. And I told you that the verb's position is fixed, it is at the second position. The position of the subject is not fixed, so either it is before or after the verb. Whenever you have the specification of time, time factor, when you have, for example, ish as a banana, again, I eat banana. Now if I want to say today I eat banana, so I will say heute, right? So normally you should place the time part at the beginning, and because you are placing it before the verb, the subject which is normally before the verb has to leave its position and politely take the position after the verb. Again, normally you have subject, verb, and then object or an adjective, but when you have specification of time, it's not mandatory, but it's good if you can place the time part before the verb. And because you are placing the time part information about time before the verb, the subject has to take the position after the verb. Any questions? Okay, please remember this in exam, it's important. uh, Now let's talk about, so you have learned, in the first session I told you, I gave you some many word combinations and how to pronounce them. Now we will learn very special scenario of words in German language. The words can be verbs, adjectives, nouns, whatever, just a word in German language. If the word is ending with the alphabet air or the alphabets A and air, how to pronounce it? Either you don't pronounce it at all, or if you really want to say, like it's like you cannot sometimes you cannot speak, like skip the syllable. So if you really want to say the pronounce that part, don't say air or air, say a. Yeah. So for example, what I'm trying to say is that, so if I want to say this part, right? So this is, if I normally pronounce it the way you learned, you will say doctor, right? You'll say the R part. I'm saying don't say it. So you will say the doctor. You will not say the R part. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. If you really want to say it, if it's troubling you that you cannot pronounce it, just replace in your head the R part with A or A. So doctor. Question? Okay. If no more questions, can someone read all these words as per the suggestion that I just gave you?
Can I read?
Yeah, you can read. And read slowly as if you are teaching us,
Uh,
but slowly
the
but loudly.
die Tochter, die Mutter, der Vater, der Bruder, die Uhr, der Fernseher,
Stop.
der Sommer,
Stop. Read this part.
Uhr,
So as I said, you don't have to say the R part. And if you really want to say, replace the alphabet R with a,
Uhr,
ua. Very good.
Uhr.
This will replace you
Der,
from someone who just learned to speak German and you who learned to speak properly.
okay.
Differentiation.
Der Sommer, der Winter, das Fenster, die Tür,
No, no, again,
der
replace the R with
Tür,
a. Tue. Yeah,
Tür,
very good.
die Tür, der Trockner,
Tue. So you don't have to like emphasize the part, but tue. Okay.
Tür,
Yeah. Not R.
die
Not
Tür,
R. It's not. If I hear
die
the R
Tür,
sound, you're pronouncing it wrong. Yeah. Continue.
der Trockner, der Toaster, der Hocker, der Durchmesser, der Empfänger, der Absender.
Yeah. Read also these two words, like the one I have.
Die Empfängerin, die Absenderin.
Yeah. So the reason I have, like I have, like how to say, like cross these words is that, I
Female
get.
version.
Yeah, that's a female version, but you may say that, I know I told you that whenever you see R or air, you replace this with a, but I'm saying only at the end of the word. Here R is not at the end, it is in between, so you have to pronounce it. You don't have to say empfängerin, but you cannot also skip it.
Empfängerin.
Yeah, so you have to say some hint of R. Yeah. Yeah, do you want to give us the meanings, good future, of all these words?
Yeah. Toaster or daughter.
So
Mutter.
I mean, you can say toaster, but like from what I have heard, it's normally doctor, doctor.
Okay, but I have heard some people say toaster
Then
or
it's fine.
some.
Then it's fine. Just speak the way people speak around you. Yeah.
Okay. Die Mutter, mother. Der Vater, father. Der Bruder, brother. Die Uhr, ähm, Watch, der Fernseher, TV, der Sommer, Summer, der Winter, Winter, der Fenster, Window, die Tür, die
Again,
Tür,
you are saying tour. Don't make this
die
mistake.
Tür, die
Yeah,
Tür,
tour. Yeah, don't
äh,
say the R part.
Door, der Trockner, Dryer,
Again, you said Trockner. I don't want to hear the R part.
ja, Trockner,
Yeah,
Trockner,
Trockner. Yeah,
Dryer,
yeah, dryer.
ah, okay, der Toaster, Toaster, der Hocker, I don't know.
Normally if you buy a sofa, you buy a chair. Not you buy a table in front of it. If you buy a relaxing chair, you also need one more thing where you can keep your feet. That thing is called as hawker. It's actually an English word as well. So hawker is same in like
Okay.
you have this relaxing chair and there is a small like rectangular table where you can keep your feet.
Mm.
That's hawker. You go to IKEA, you will know what hawker means. Yeah.
Durchmesser, I don't know.
If I have a circle and if I draw a line from one point of the circle to the other point and this line is straight and it passes through the center of the circle as well, what is this line?
Half,
No, no, no. What is this line called? If I have a circle and there is a
The
straight diameter. Yeah, diameter. So Durchmesser means diameter. Is it relevant to you or not? I mean, you decide. I'm just, yeah, Durchmesser. Maybe you need to know, maybe you don't need to know. Yeah, Durchmesser means diameter. Empfänger? Yeah.
Examiner, I
No,
don't know,
no,
but
no, no, no. Empfänger is like, okay. I mean, if you go to a restaurant, if you go to, let's say, your company sends you to some place to meet the client, and you have to stay at a hotel. Can you when you go to the hotel, can you just literally go to your room, or do you have to meet someone before you go to the room? Reception.
receptionist,
So yeah, empfang. There is this word called as empfang. Let me write it for you. So that thing, like that is called as empfang. Empfänger means like receiver. Yeah. Em- okay. It also means empfänger, like you can also use it when you write a letter, or like let us you want to post something, there will be a sender and a receiver, right? So empfänger will be the guy who receives, absender will be the one who sends. Make sense?
okay.
Yeah. All right. Any questions? Okay. Now a tip for the
uh,
exam. Yeah. Please ask.
yeah, Rohit Ravish here. Just wanted to ask, like when you said empfänger and this absender, that is it also valid for mail, like when
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
sending
It's
mails
valid
or
for mail. Yeah.
emails and all? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It's valid for mail. Yeah. So, uh, one tip for exam, I told you that, like if you want to speak proper German, don't pronounce the R part when it is at the end of a word. But in exam, don't overdo it because, if the teacher thinks that you are being over smart, or if the teacher thinks, you don't know there is an R at the end, just to avoid any confusion, add a hint of R. Yeah. So don't just say, so maybe you can make a mistake, say over, it's fine. Yeah. Make a mistake so that at least there is no, you don't lose marks just because you are speaking properly. Yeah. But in real life, don't do it. Continue. Any questions? All right. So v- that was all about time. You should now be able to talk about time. Now you think like, I'm still in A1, like what do I know? But you just learned how to talk about time. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to speak fluent German, but at least when it comes to time, your boss speaks with you in English, your colleagues with you speak in English, you speak German in between, right? Many of you speak some other language, and I'm pretty sure that many of you use English while you speak your mother tongue, right? So like you will say 5:30, I will ask you when are we meeting tomorrow in our mother tongue, and you will say 5:30. You will not say 5:30 in your mother tongue. Similarly, when you are speaking English, now start adding German words. Yeah, that's what I mean. All right, let's talk about Modalverben. The name says Modalverben. That means they are some kind of verbs, modal verbs. Why modal verbs? Don't know. We'll find answer online, but that's not important. What is important is that three questions. What is their purpose? Why do you need the modal verbs? How many are there? and how to use them. How to use them is the most important part. What is their purpose? They help you add more context to your language. For example, I say I read. For example, I work. I work, but you will ask, right, why do you work? I can say I have to work. I must, I like to work. uh, I am allowed to work. I should work. Like when you want to add some more context to what you are saying, that's when modal verbs come into picture. Also, speaking from a very practical point of view, I told you about this conjugation of verb, that the spelling of the verb changes with the noun, with the subject, whether it is, which pronoun you are using. The subject changes and the spelling of the verb will change and pronunciation will change, and it must have scared a lot of you. The good thing about modal verb is that when you use a modal verb in the sentence, you only have to conjugate the modal verb. The other verb you don't have to conjugate. That means if you know 100 verbs, right, and if you don't know their conjugation, no problem. In every sentence, when you use these one of these 100 verbs, use the modal verb, because there are just handful of modal verbs, and if you learn their conjugation, you only have to conjugate the modal verb. The other verb you don't have to conjugate. That is the good thing, when it comes to practical aspect of it. How many are there? Just six are there. Six modal verb. That means if you learn 1,000 verbs, and if you don't want to learn their conjugation, just learn the conjugation of these six modal verb, and in every sentence somehow find a way to put in the modal verb. Yeah, that means the other verb need not be conjugated. How to use them, like what syntax, what grammar structure that we need to follow, that's what we will learn right now. So here are the, I told you there are six modal verben, but you see seven. So you have dürfen, sollen, können, müssen, wollen, mögen, möchten. So you have like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And I said six only. Actually, the first six are modal verben. This möchten is a different, I had showed you this conjugation. I told you that, like you have to conjugate the verb in presence, you have to conjugate in past, and so on, blah, blah, blah. This möchten is nothing but, so möchten is, there is something called as, no need to know what connective zwei is. This is connective zwei form of mögen. Yeah. And normally when you want to use the modal verb mögen, you don't use mögen, you use möchten. Why do you do it? Accept it for now. Maybe someday I will give you the answer. Even if you don't know the answer, it's not going to, no one's going to ask you that question. So there are just six. Möchten is a different way. Think of it. Möchten is like Raichu and Mögen is Pikachu, if you know what Pokemon is. Yeah. So uh, again, the blue banner just says, "Is there a mistake?" And the mistake was that I gave you seven, and I told you there are six modal verben. Anyone wants to help us with their meanings? Like what do they mean? Yeah, Pooja, go ahead.
Yeah. Dürfen means to allow. Sollen means should. Können means can. Müssen means must. Wollen means would. Morgen means would like to. Möchten means I would like to.
Yeah. So dürfen has something to do with permission. Like allowed to, maybe. Like may, not maybe. Like may or allowed. May I some. May I. Am I allowed to, something like that? Sollen is like should. Should. But it can also mean, like for example, there is an advertisement says that the applicant should be able to speak English. Der Bewerber soll Deutsch können, Deutsch sprechen, something like that. Yeah. Können is something to do with you know ability or skill. For example, you can say ich kann in Python programmieren. I can program in Python. Yeah. If I ask you, do you have time tomorrow, you can say nee, nee, ich kann morgen nicht. I cannot, I cannot tomorrow, something like that. So können is like what, something that you can do, or it can be related to what is possible, something like that. Müssen, normally people think it's just must. Yeah, must as well, but it also like have to. Ich muss Deutsch lernen. I must learn German. I have to learn German. Möchten is like to. Yeah. Any questions about the meanings? Okay. Let's look at the structure, the grammar. Before we do that, let's do a very quick revision. Uh, yeah, someone had asked me this, like about this. Okay, let's look at the grammar.
Oh,
Yeah,
what is Mugen?
Myogen is also like to. Now, there is nothing wrong. It's just that when you want to use Myogen as a modal verb, you use Myosten. They both mean the same, almost the same. I hope that. Yeah, Rudy, please ask.
Yeah. What does Volan mean?
Yeah, one I forgot. Want to. A strong
Oh,
wish. A strong wish. Ich will
okay.
Pizza essen. I want to eat pizza. Ich will eine Gehaltserhöhung haben. I want to have a salary increase. Yeah.
Acha.
Something like,
Thank you.
for example, if you go to a restaurant, you can say, ich will ein Pizza haben, but if you can be more polite and say, ich möchte ein Pizza bestellen. It's just a different way of talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
More
you.
questions? Most welcome. Okay, if not, now we have to learn the structure of the how to use modal verb. Before we go there, because now you have to use modal verb and you have to use one more verb. Before we go there, let's do a quick revision of like how to frame sentences with just one verb. So as I told you, there are three kinds I mean, I can say three kinds of sentences in German language. It can be a statement, it can be a yes or no kind of question, or it can be a w word kind of question. For a statement, you have the subject, verb, and then the object. Yeah, question. Okay, so uh, for a yes or no kind of question, you have the verb, subject, and the object. For a W kind of question, the same syntax as for yes or no kind of question, just add the W part. So W, wer, what, Verb, Subjekt, Objekt. Yeah. So ich bekomme den Vertrag, bekomme ich den Vertrag, wann bekomme ich den Vertrag. Yeah, this is the normal structure. This is when you have only one verb. Yeah. So here is the conjugation table for the verb bekommen. Ich bekomme, du bekommst, es, sie bekommt, ihr bekommt, wir bekommen, sie bekommen. Yeah. So the verb has been conjugated for the given subject, meaning if the subject changes, the verb conjugation will change. Uh, just for some, like for some sake of simplicity of understanding, I will replace the verb. So far it was verb or verb. Now I will call it main verb. Yeah, just for some understanding. Yeah, main verb. And now uh, so when you have only one verb, you conjugate that verb, right? So you see this is ka o n or this means conjugate, this is conjugated, so you conjugate that verb. Same thing I've written over here as well, same thing I've written over here as well. Now if you want to use the modal verb, okay, notice, right, don't get confused. It was in pink color, right? Just notice that. So main verb, you were conjugating it when it was the only verb in the sentence, and it was at the second position for statement, it was at the first position for yes or no kind of question, it was again at the second position for w kind of question. Yeah, so conjugated in the position. Now check where the main verb is. Okay, now I'm using modal verb as well. Yeah, so I'm using du kannst den Vertrag haben, you can have the contract, and the main verb, it is at the last position. Yeah, haben, like main verb, is at the last position here as well. Kann sie den Vertrag lesen, can she read the contract? So the main verb lesen is at the last position. Check over here. Wann könnt ihr den Vertrag unterschreiben? Again, the main verb unterschreiben means to, to sign, to put a signature. So again, the main verb is at the last position. Also, I have written this ENF. This means infinitive form. Every verb, when you learn in infinitive form, right? The actual form of the verb, or the normal form, or the grund form of the verb. So it is an infinitive format. Yeah. So the main verb, when I say infinitive, means it's good news. You should be happy. You should be, you should have like euro signs in your eyes, because you don't have to conjugate it. That's the beauty of it. What do you have to conjugate? You have to conjugate the modal verb. Yeah. So here, können for du becomes kans. Here, kann for sie, and for ia it is kjönt. We'll learn about this conjugation. What I'm trying to say is, let's go back. So when you have only one verb in the sentence, you conjugate it and you have it at the second position. Yeah, when you have only one verb, you conjugate and you place it at the second position. For a statement, you place it at the first position. For a yes or no kind of question, you place it again at the second position for the W kind of question. When you have two verbs in a sentence, you have modal verb and the other verb, let's call it main verb. The modal verb now takes the position of the actual verb. So at the second position, now you have the modal verb. Again, check here in a yes or no kind of question. At the first position, you have the modal verb. Again, for W kind of question, at the second position, you have the modal verb. You just conjugate it for the given subject. Yeah. And the actual verb or the main verb or just the other verb is now at the last position. Haben, lesen, unterschreiben. You should be very happy about these things, because now you don't have to learn to conjugate, like ich habe, du hast, and so on. I mean, you still have to learn. I'm just saying there are less chances of doing mistakes. Yeah. So any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. If no more questions, let's do some exercises. Anyone wants to read? I hope you all can read. If you cannot, that means you are not following my instructions of not joining the class via your phone. Those who can read, if you are, I believe everybody can read if you have joined using a laptop. Uh, yeah, good future. Can you please read the sentences of? Yeah, before we go there, this is the conjugate. Yeah, you can read this table. Yeah, good future. You can read. So read the table.
Yeah.
Ich kann, du kannst, and so on. So what we have over here is the conjugation table for modal verb. Yeah, please read.
Okay. Ich kann, du kannst, es kann, könnt. Ich soll, du sollst, es soll, ihr sollt. Ich darf, du darfst, es darf, ihr dürft. Ich will, du willst, es will, ihr wollt. Ich möchte, du möchtest, es möchte, ihr müsstest. Ich muss, du musst, es muss, ihr müsst.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you are wondering what about the other pronouns, that's the good thing. One more good thing about modal verb, the other pronouns like, z, and via, it's the actual verb itself. So you don't have to learn, like other verbs where you have to learn all like, so for z, and via, it's the actual verb itself. Yeah. And one more good thing about this, if you're paying attention, so for ish and rsz, it's the same thing. Ish kan, rsz kan. Ish zol, rsz zol. Ish darf, rsz darf. Ich will, sie will. Ich möchte, sie möchte. Ich muss, sie muss. So you actually, the good thing about when you use modal verb, you don't have to conjugate the other verb in the sentence. Also, the conjugation table of modal verb is not that complicated, because for z, like this z like they, and capital Z like you formal, it's the actual verb itself. And for, if you know for the conjugation for ish, for rzs, right? One more thing, if you notice, if you for do, it's not that difficult. If you know for ish, you just have to add the alphabets s and te. Khan, khans. Zol, zols. Darf, darfs. Will, wills. Möchte, möchtest. Yeah. Muss, okay, you can add one more este, but I mean, it's logic that if you, it's like mus, and you don't want to say that, so you just add te over here. Yeah. And if you want for ia, just if you know for kan, okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to conjugate this kyonan for ia, you take the en part out and add te. So kyonan, take the n part out, and kyont. Take the n part out, zolt. Take the n part out, duft. Take the n part out, volt. Take the n part out. I mean, you can say misht, but just nice to add the a te part. Yeah. Musen, te. Any questions? Now, please remember this table. It's not that difficult to remember this table. Tomorrow I will come to all your houses at 4 a.m. in the morning. Let's suppose I have master key. I go to your house. I can enter your house. I will go to your kitchen, open the refrigerator, take some ice, pour it into a glass, and pour some water into it. Shake it properly so that it's proper cold and there are no ice chunks left inside it. Come to your bedroom, throw it on your face, and if you wake up, give me this table. I will not come again. But if you don't remember this table, please don't show up for the next session. Yeah, because it's a very simple table, and if you cannot do this, give up learning German. Yeah, I mean, okay, it was too rude, but I'm saying it's the easiest thing you can do. Let's do the practice part. Okay, we have only 6 minutes left. What we can do is we can end this call over here, and we can do the practice part in the next call. Yeah, any questions? We have 6 minutes left. We can take some questions. Any questions, guys? Okay, so we'll end this call. I will post the link in the group. Please join using that link. Yeah, if you already have the link, then you can use that link. I'll count from 10 to 1 and I will end this call. I will post the link in the group. Please join using that one. A question? Yeah, good future. You have a question? Question, please. Okay, no question. Say
Did
no.
we miss the previous slide? We have skipped
Oh,
to
we'll do
this.
this one, right? Which one we mean? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go through it in the just after
Okay.
this session, because we'll start, the call will end abruptly and it's not nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you in a minute.